Well, hello. So I am on the other side of quite an interesting weekend, a spectacularly interesting weekend, I'll actually add. So, last time we met / spoke, I was about to go into solitary confinement for 36 hours, which I did. Or more than 36 hours, anyway. So here's a lowdown of what happened. I went to bed, woke up, I basically meditated, and I napped a lot during the day. I realised that actually, while I was in this space where I had nothing to do, it was like my body realised it could rest. I had no sense of, I've got to do this or do that. I had no sense of schedule, so I did whatever I wanted, whatever my body wanted. And in this moment, my body wanted some sleep, so I slept a lot during the day. That was good. Slept and meditated. In the evening, I did a little. I did afford myself a little dance. Get the blood going. That was really fun. Solo dance in my room. Then the really interesting stuff happened after midnight. So, first thing was, mentally I had prepared myself to be writing in this kind of, in the middle of the night, which I've done a couple of times before, and I've loved the quiet, the darkness, the silence. It's so personal. It really allows different type of writing, a real aliveness to it. I love it. I'm a real creature of the night. And figured out what it was I was going to write about, and that was a health profile of myself. So I had a nutrition consultation last week with my friend David, in which we talked about a lot of things to do with like health, but specific things related to how my constitution works, what my personality type is like. And I realised that I hadn't really put down on paper what it really is to be me, what I am really like, as a kind of summary. And I think that would be something that would be an interesting thing to do. So then at 1 a.m. I started writing, and I literally was writing for the next 2.5 hours, almost non-stop, about my sort of defining personality traits, my mainly about that, my physical traits. I think the thing that I realised most was that, God, man, I'm a bit sort of definitely on some ends of some sort of spectrums, or spectra even. Anyway, that was a fascinating process, but what was far more fascinating was what came next. And it was so painful, and so, I think having spent so much time alone, without distraction, without food, I was so rawly in my sort of emotions and in my body that it just opened the floodgates. So at like 4:20 a.m. or something, actually, you know what? Instead of telling you the story, I'm going to read an email that I sent out to people I live with here. Kagyu sent me a song. I sent this at about 9 a.m. Dear all, Residency Rule A for living at KSD London, Kagyu Samyadong, where I'm living, is as follows: to abide by the 5 golden rules while in the centre. One of the 5 golden rules is to abstain from lying. Drawing guidance from this residency rule, I confess my breaking of another. Yesterday, to honour the start of my new life here, I spent the day in silent meditation in my room. leaving only for the Chenrezig Puja, as in I took an hour out to do some chanting. I then decided to sit through the night. At 4 a.m. I felt weak and tired. Fishing for support, I remembered the Palo Santo that I had brought from my last flat. Residency Rule T states, not to light naked flames or incense in the occupant's room due to fire risk. This will set off the fire alarm. I remembered all but the capitalised words above, the capitalised words being, this will set off the fire alarm. Speech marks. If I blow out the wood and hold it until all the fire risk is gone, I'm not intentionally breaking the purpose of this rule, which is to protect against fire risk. In any case, fire alarms aren't set off by things like that. Close quotation marks. The Mara, who is damagingly persuasive due to my lawyer background, whispered in my ear. A Mara, by the way, is a Buddhist, in Buddhist terms. It's the kind of the voice in your head that tempts you towards doing naughty things. Anyway, in my weakness, I lit the wood. A few minutes after it had gone out, the alarm went off. Panic and shame struck like I haven't experienced for a long time. Open quotation marks. It's 4 a.m. on a Sunday, you inconsiderate fool. You've only just moved here. This is the best thing that's happened to you, and you've completely blown it. You can't just tread lightly, can you? Close quotation marks. These and more damaging thoughts infested my mind. In shock, I didn't speak up as we gathered in the hallway, lost for words as I looked at your faces. I froze. Returning to my room, I must confess, I considered letting it blow over. But as I sat with those thoughts, my skin crawled. Moving here and living with you, all is helping me more than I can put into words. I owe you more than burying this inside when looking into your eyes. I also confess that I considered writing a watered-down version to make me look as innocent and normal as possible. But my body again indicated that this would be a betrayal. So, now I'm opening up, exposing my shadow in a way I haven't before, and it does feel like the right thing to do. Thank you for this opportunity to practice. The process of confronting my avoidance to be uncomfortable and valuable in equal measures. I'm deeply sorry for disturbing you and breaking this residency rule. I absolutely should have known better. If there's any volunteer work I can do, or help I can give to any of you, please let me know. I mean that sincerely, not as a platitude. Thank you. Ben. So, well, I think that says a lot, but I'd like to dwell a little and give some thoughts on this. So, that was a really, almost like a grace in some ways, like a blessing that moment came to me. That was a moment like I have not had for a long time, where I thought, oh my God, this is me. I'm really up against myself here. It's a really painful moment of fuck. Like that moment when the alarm went off, and I was like, oh my God, my world is tumbling down in front of me. Like I'm a complete fucking idiot. This is 4 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, the internal, oh my God. But what was more interesting than the fact that I actually did light the fire and turn the alarm off was my reaction to that. So I realised that there was a second point where I was like, okay, I could just let this blow over. And I did have that opportunity for me. They didn't know who had caused the alarm. They didn't know where it had come from, because they turned off the alarm, and then that was it. I could have walked away. And there was a very tempting voice in my head telling me to do so. But then it was like, I thought about that, and I was like, oh my God, I just I could see so clearly the pain and the damage that would cause. I would be lying to people for the rest of my time here. I'd be lying to myself. I'd be carrying that with me to the grave. I'd be dirty and, no, I couldn't do that to other people, and they might be, I don't know. And then I considered even just telling one or two people and being like, can you not tell anyone else? But then again, I was like, this pain inside me of, What I realised that in those moments my body was telling me, Ben, don't do that. Don't do that. It's amazing, isn't it? Realising how clever the body is. When your body's reaction says, oh my God, what are you doing to me? It knows. It's like just in the moment that you consider doing something, your body reacts to that idea. It knows. So fascinating. And I'm actually, instead of thinking this has been a complete disaster, I think this has been a wonderful learning experience. I received some really, really nice emails in return, in response to that email. And now I feel that now with the people around me, it's like I've dropped my guard. I have not played the Ben is perfect card, you know. Because that's definitely something which I realise I play a lot. Holding up this idea, this fantasy that I am this, always calm, composed, in control. It's a difficult one for me to break. It's a big part of my ego, I suppose. And like when I was writing that, it was just, I woke up and I'd only slept for a couple of hours, and I was like, fuck, I usually wake up and I will meditate first thing regardless, but this time I was like, I can't meditate, I can't sit, I just need to write. I need to just do this. I can't do this. Another thing that's brought up is just what this means. This path of opening. By letting go of attachments and practicing more and opening myself more to the world and not distracting myself, etc., etc. Now it's like, oh fuck. Oh my God. The floodgates of these emotions are opening. I've got to confront stuff like this and go through these uncomfortable processes rather than just burying them away and avoiding them with usual distractions. It's somewhat terrifying but chilling but exciting at the same time. It makes life more vibrant, more rich, intense. And I suppose I'm a man of intensity. But yeah, today was a real snippet of how far it goes. Because I haven't experienced an emotion like that in a long time. And it's really, I've been in shock today. It was nice because that is the feeling as well. What I've learned from this is that today I resolved something. Today I confronted something inside myself a pattern of avoidance, of wanting to appear, the normal, wanting to appear normal, of shielding myself. And I broke free of that. And it felt really good, in a fucked up kind of way. In a way that, if I hadn't done it, I know I would have felt way worse. And I know I would have hung on to that and damaged other people as a result. Yeah. So, I guess moving forwards now, I have this precedent. Yeah. This precedent. This time I did the right thing. So next time maybe I'll do the right thing again. And it was fascinating as I lay down there, just contemplating what it would be like, what would happen if I covered it up, if I didn't say it. It was like I could just see the karma kind of unfolding. By karma I don't mean any kind of superstitious payback. I'm just like, in my head I just saw the pattern, the train of events that would unfold, and the ensuing, I've got this, it puts me up a guard, it makes me have more of a protection, this sense of that I am a secret person who's hiding something, and then that would make me more liable to do other things like that. Whereas on the other hand, I saw that if I just was open about it with everyone, expose myself, then that just eased this sense of needing to be perfect, of needing to be whatever. And then of needing to be someone who gets on well with people, etc. But I realised that actually, by letting go of that need to want to appear like, perfect, that is exactly how I can appear. It's not perfect as such, but how I can appear, or perfectly imperfect, where people can look at me and be like, that is someone who is just openly expressing himself, and there's something beautiful in that, And that was what I tried to do as much as possible with that email. Still coming down from it. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. I'm really at a time now in my life where I feel I'm increasingly exposed, open, and it's got its change. Okay, thank you.